I don't know if you can see it. There, let's move this out. Get out of the ways. Let's see if I can get some more lights in here. Well, you'll just have to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out where you can get some lighting at. Let's see. Let's try this. There you go. Maybe. Shawnee. There you go. That book. Let's see. It's backwards. Get this book too. I'll show it over here. And these two books, this one has footnotes. This one has Grandma Lily. My great-grandma Lily is in here, and she's the queen of this North Ground that talks about how the Kickapoos became Kickapoos. They used to be Shawnees. They used to be. And then you hear the story of Grandma Lily in there. And so, before that, there was a great battle going on that was about incorporation. They wanted to incorporate people here in America. They've already had established the 13 colonies of America, and they wanted more. And so they landed in the wrong spot, according to the doctrines of discovery that the Pope gave out to the monarchs to remove the indigenous from the law above, which made the land, that made all creation, Creator's law, to the Pope's law of Catholicism, the Catholics, or the Protestants, the Protesters, and then the Baptists and others. So these are all under the umbrella of the Pope. So he gave them a list. So if you was here this morning, you would have saw the doctrines of discovery and those elements, because you remember that lady was a Christian psychotherapist. And I said I could have really broke that down a lot, but then she started throwing Christianity around, and so I had to correct her on what that means to a Shawnee like me. I said, yeah, they use Christianity to war upon us, Shawnees. And so I always shared with people to watch We Shall Remain, Tecumseh's vision, and you'll see about the war with the Shawnees and the Americans. If you think you're an American, you're probably wrong. Because if you're not living in a mansion and have a plantation, you're definitely not an American. You know? You're probably still an immigrant that has paperwork that you had to sign or take a test and swear to. So if you remember, I go to Dunkin', what is that place? Well, Dad used to work there, Dunkin' Donuts, but it's Donut King, where the real Indians are at, from India. And I asked her, I said, are you an American? She goes, yes, I am. I said, good. What makes an American? Because I'm Shawnee. What makes an American? She goes, I don't know. I said, did you have to take a test? Did you have to, take a history lesson? Did you have to fill out some forms? I mean, what makes it an American? You know? Some of us are just dropped here and looked around, and someone told us it was America. Kind of like being in the Maze Runner, right? You got dropped in there like, welcome to America. And meanwhile, it's really Turtle Island, and there's these red people who are a holy people, and they have a law here, and you're like, I never heard of them. Well, there's one talking to you right now that's spoke at the Shawnee, so that's how this content is for my children, my grandchildren, and those to come, if there is going to be any more. Because the only one of my 3 children that know anything of the ceremonial ground where I was raised and our people are from is my little one. She's not so little anymore. She's 18. So this court system removes the children from the law of our Creator if you're Shawnee, because that's staying to who I am, of a belief system that Creator calls Sawandasi or Shawano or Espagoji. And you wouldn't know that unless your grandma had told you growing up, but you can also hear it from this book. And this book talks about what grandma shared with me and probably everyone else. But like Crosland said, some people you'd think could remember this stuff. I said the same thing. So how come I remember all this stuff? How come I can recall things like Crosland does? You know? But I've been around so many ceremonial people all my life that the only way I learn is by making a mistake or someone not informing me, okay? Or how certain... Man, sometimes you've just got to follow your heart, man. And so I do. And when I do, people have confrontations with that because I follow my heart. You know, like I shared with y'all, there was probably an AI or kinfolk or somebody talking smack about me that they called the elder that I sit by. I mean, like, what's he going to do? You going to find me? What? We're the same. We're equal. No one's higher than the other when it comes to me and this elder. We're the same. He's just more wiser than me. He's been on the planet longer than me, right? He has retained his culture a lot longer than me, okay? He knows his ways more than me, okay? But still, what's he going to do? I'm going to find you. Oh, you can't walk around that way. You got to walk this way. I mean, what's he going to do? What can he do? Nothing. I follow this. And if it tells me to go this way and people don't like it, well, they're going to have only what they know and where they sit at. Only what Creator has given them to know. Again, I only know by people's opinions of not doing it that way. And so I learn. It's like, cool, now I know. But I know even more, further than what most people know, because I ask. And so, for example, when it comes to tobacco, there's some people out there who smoke tobacco who are just thinking worry stuff and put it out there. That's not how you do it here in this country. Turtle Island, you know, tobacco's sacred. They know that you put things out there in the universe, and you don't want to do that worrying. You want to do that in a assertive and direct way, intentionally wanting a renewal of the earth, sky, water, trees, grass, and then you also want renewal of the living relatives, four-legged, flying, swimming, crawling creature that Creator had made in the day that they were made. And you also want to pray for your extended family, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, brothers and sisters, and family that were once friends along the journey. Pray for those also. And then, lastly, you pray for you. And that's where it gets really, 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 really hard to do. Because you can't handle the truth that you're lazy. For real. Or just say you struggle at the moment. That way you're not lazy. You're just struggling, which is a truth. They're both truths. It's on how you word it. Remember, to thine own self be true. Be true to yourself. That's all I can say. That's all I do here. I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm going to learn from them. And it's okay. The thing is, people think foolishness is going to last forever. You're only foolish once, I think. You might not be if you keep repeating it, so hopefully you're not. But people are afraid to do things just for the fear of looking foolish, to make fun of, okay? you're never going to learn until you do. Not everything's done correctly right off the bat. Some things are, some things aren't. Okay? That's just how it is. And the journey of learning more about yourself in these flaws become perfection over time. I hope that makes sense. Because if it doesn't, maybe it wasn't meant for you. But if it does, then maybe this message is definitely for you. Because I try to share with Earth Baby Co. about the concept of the truth and the spirits of the truth. I said, if you can believe that Mother Earth can grow food that you can eat, where's that truth at? Where are your actions to show me that's your truth? Because if I follow you and you go to the grocery store, then you're a liar. You're saying the grocery store provides food that you go get for a certain amount of time at a job just over broke to go do that, and then go home for just over broke compartment that you pay for very little time of hot water and running water that you spend most of your day just to keep it on and not even use it. So the truth would be that perhaps I followed her this day in a drone, in a dragonfly drone, so no one kills it. And I was just flying around, observing, and she said, "Enough's enough! I quit! I'm done with the Matrix!" And she leaves. Doesn't say nothing, doesn't say goodbye, just goes. Because she knows she doesn't have any more time than she thought she did. And she wants to believe. And she says, "Creator, I believe, help my unbelief. But I'm going nonetheless." And she steps out of the matrix of that just over broke that stole all her life away, to where now she's barely where she's at to be out in the field to handle the dirt. Barely. And so, if she truly believes, she'll start toiling the soil and start planting seed. And then watering it and talking to it and being with it daily, walking amongst it in the mornings, in the afternoon, and in the evening. She'd be singing unto the plants, nourishing and nurturing. I put those words together. And so there's the truth. That would be the soul truth for real. That would be so truthful that she believes that Mother Earth can provide food for her. That's the truth. I try to believe it, and all I grow is weeds. I showed her out here where I put tomato plants, some other peppers and things. Man, they did not grow. They did not grow. I think it's too much clay out here. Anyway, I'm 37 minutes on here, so I'm going to wrap it up on the video and send it to YouTube. That way you can watch it from this live TikTok and my podcast. So I have 3 sources of information. But again, I was just practicing with it. This is just a dry run to see how I can manipulate this information to help at 3 different platforms at one time. That's podcast, TikTok, and video, which I can put later and cut and paste. This is the first time I tried this. So I hope the screen is wide enough and big enough for you to see, but it's a more advantage for y'all if I had the screen on, and I got to buy that card so you can see my screen, because there's more videos and notes that I've taken from law school that apply today before the Indian Child Welfare Act hits the Supreme Court. I think they said less than 75 days. So I got to beat them there. I got to get up there and serve the courts on these crimes ASAP. But the correct one, the correct Supreme Court, is not of District of Columbia. Remember, that's a Satan place. It's got a streets that are made out of a pentagram. They bring the obelisk from Pharaoh. That's a idol out there on the water with spikes that holds a false fire, a false light. Yeah, that's D.C. Now, Philadelphia is attached to America.